It is 12 o'clock, September 17th, 2025. We are going to start the meeting of the Depoe Bay Park and Recreation Committee. May we have a quorum, please?
Councilor Farrar.
Present.
Councilor Monday.
Yes.
Chair Vincent.
Present.
Councilor Sedgwick.
Present.
And Councilor Miles.
Yes.
I should say Commissioner, sorry. It's my first time doing these, so I hope you have a little.
We can graduate the council.
We're happy so far.
Yeah. That's right. Real quick, I'm sure you guys all got the memo that Suzanne is no longer with us. She moved to Eugene, take care of puppy. And so what is on the consent agenda today, if anything?
I did not get a memo about that.
Oh, yeah, she had sent that us a week or two ago.
I never got it.
Yeah, I've got a joint email.
No consent agenda today.
Okay,
So next meeting, you'll have 2 sets of minutes.
that's fine.
I had heard that the house was for sale and that there was an offer on it, so I knew it was.
Yeah,
Right around the
It was in the last week's, was it Tuesdays? It was on the thing at the post office, talk about her.
Oh.
Yeah, for the next, I think was it yesterday's or?
It's yesterday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
I know, I just sent an email that came from like 2 weeks ago.
It'd be nice if we could send her a card.
We'll get the new address.
Yeah, and
She's-
thank her for serving and
Yeah.
wish her well. I know this has been really hard for her.
Yeah. But she didn't want to leave, this is
Yeah.
a family thing.
Right.
And do we have anything on unfinished business that we wanted to discuss?
Not
Okay.
this time.
Okay, the next item is new business national night out discussion. For everybody that came by, it was quite a success. I want to thank you, Loretta, for being there, and Todd, everybody that showed up, and it was fun. It was, I don't know if it was as big as last year or not, but it was a lot of people.
I would say close.
Yeah, it was crazy, it was fun. A lot of people showed up, a lot of food went out, and we had a new sponsor. Besides having Chester's, we had First Choice Fresh Market, donated us about 60 burgers and all kinds of stuff too, so that went really well. And I'm sure next year will be even bigger. So, we gave away some fun prizes, the kids went crazy this year. They kept on, the games were a little too easy. I had one kid came up 6 times because he kept winning and wanted more raffle tickets to win, they're like, really? But they had a good time. Okay, under new business, via Commissioner Miles, we're gonna be talking about the Park and Recreation Commission bylaws discussion. Thank you for bringing that up, and if you wanna lead that off, that'd be great.
Happy to. So, what initially piqued.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I'm sorry.
I forget something?
There was just one thing that I neglected.
Oh, sure.
Under new business, there were
Yes.
just a few agenda items that Loretta wanted to add.
Oh, I thought we were gonna add those to discussion at the end. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, so under new business, she wanted to discuss the crab feed.
Right, I have an update about crab feed.
And then, what was the other one?
There's just a couple other things.
Well,
I
actually,
think that's the only thing that I sent you. The other 2 things I just made notes of in the last 24 hours, thinking that I could bring them up toward the end.
I'd like us to make a proposal at the end.
Okay.
I would do, I had sent a few things to Kim, I didn't know we were
Oh,
switching who we sent things to, so
Okay.
there was a lapse there, but.
Well, if you guys wanna talk about it now before we get into the other meat of it, I'd rather talk about that first, but, cause now you got a curiosity going, so.
Okay, so,
Crab feed, and
Crab
then Illy and Zoe and.
okay. Crab feed, basically, the update is there is no update. So I was finally able to have a conversation with Kathy. And you guys all know that she's really been struggling with some health issues off and on, I think more on than off, but she grits her teeth and she's a wonderful woman. Anyway, when she went back and looked, so I was under the impression, I think it was last January, when after the Rex Park got added to Parker, no, that, I guess that happened before, but when City Council had decided that crab feed could fall under our,
Purview.
yeah. Kathy came to that meeting and we were talking about it. She said that she had all these records and that it was a pretty easy, straightforward event to put together and she would help and whatnot, well, then we know that what happened after that. So when I talked to her, what she told me is that when she went back and looked, the only records that she really has are volunteer records. She does not have any financial records, she doesn't have any supply records, she doesn't have any of that. And so
So basically be like starting square
we
one.
would be starting from scratch, exactly. That's what I asked her. I said, so in your opinion, we'd be starting from scratch? And she said yes. She also made it clear to me with her health and all the other obligations that she has,
Right.
that she absolutely cannot take it on.
Sure.
I'm sure she would happily act as an advisor, if we had questions and whatnot, but that's where we stand. We would be starting from absolute scratch, and one of the biggest pieces that we would have to overcome is the whole issue of a broker who could accept the crab. And of course, then there's also the ongoing issue of when does crab season open, what's crab priced, who are we getting the crab from, all of that.
Right.
So, again, I've never put together a food-related event. So, I would be happy to work on that. I don't think I'm the right person to take it on as a lead. I would perhaps co-lead if somebody we wanted to go forward, but again, we're starting from scratch.
Right.
And it is now September, and we'd be looking at March, and my personal feeling is the only way we would pull that off is if we started next week.
Right.
So there's the update on that. So
And just to interject, not to, I did reach out to Newport, and there really isn't gonna be a joint Newport / to help us out, Newport Chamber.
there is or is not?
No.
Oh, I was kind of excited about that idea.
There's not really gonna be any commingling of cities.
Yeah, there was some talk of some sort of like a chamber of commerce, some sort of commerce organization that would be Newport and was it to include Lincoln City also, or just Newport and Depoe Bay? Okay. All right, well, and so there we are. So we don't have a commerce organization. I loved the idea that got started a year or two ago, however long ago that was, and, bylaws were created, there were a couple of meetings, and then that went away. Councilor Masala was kind of leading that charge, and, when I spoke with him personally about it, I think at National Night Out actually was when I talked to him about it, he said that he still hoped something could happen, but he's not the person to lead it. He does not have the time to take that responsibility on. So there we are. We've no Chamber of Commerce. All the Chamber of Commerce records apparently evaporated when Melissa left. I still don't know for sure if anyone went directly to the Lincoln City Chamber of Commerce, where she tried to incorporate everything to see if by any chance they had anything.
Lori has nothing.
She has nothing, okay. I assume that you may have talked to somebody about that. Kathy said there's nothing, so anyway, no commerce organization that would have typically hosted that and the salmon bake, and no records for us to create a map from.
So besides that, we're good.
I guess it's one less thing to worry about.
Right. And Ellie, you had mentioned something?
I'm still determined to have in our portfolio some sort of activity that is more focused on culture. Since the movies did not come out, I had another idea. Like propose, it's very simple, very small. It would depend a little bit on the support of the city hall in terms of yielding with no charge, the community center once a month for 2 hours. It will be a book club.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
Thank you.
No problem.
This falls perfectly into something I'm gonna bring up later on, thank
Okay.
you.
You guys are like pen pals.
Not really, although we are kind of buddies, we like each other.
Yeah. So, yes, the idea is for Depoe Book Club proposal. It will be an initiative with the Park and Recreation Commission to offer free public opportunities for residents of Depoe to socialize around culture, great capital community, which lacks library or any other cultural venues. Currently, book clubs in Depoe City are located in areas too far from, Beacon County, located in areas too far from Depoe Bay. The closest one is tied to a business addition, and conditions of participation or even access to the book list depend on engaging with the corporate profile of the business on social media.
Mhm.
So I don't like that. So you basically need to message them, and even keep their list.
You mean Serenity?
Yes.
Yeah.
So social distancing is discouraged for several individuals, and honestly, it's not very ethical.
Really cliquish.
So but even that, you basically need to engage with a business to get access to the book club. The book club, will gather once a month at the community center for a 2-hour meeting. Fees for use of the community center for such a purpose could be waived, as the book club offers an opportunity for erudition in a city that lacks. Membership would not be required. Walk-ins would be welcome, but participants who do not read the book discussed with the month would be encouraged to participate only as visitors. The book club would have a rotating list of genres. So we should not, most book clubs are very specialized, only
Mystery.
romance,
Mhm.
etc. This one, no. Every month different topics, so people, okay, I don't like sci-fi, okay, this month I want to skip, fine. And picks for the monthly gathering would be determined by books of elevated prose that are enriched culturally rather than indulgent works focused on mere entertainment. So that's why I like to know line. So no romance novels, but guys showing the six pack on the cover, so that's per night time. So we want to do that. But always catering to an adult audience, so our rating is not off limits. The list would try to contemplate monthly celebrations in their choices. For example, women's fictions classics in March, American literature classics in July, elevated horror in October. The book club would aim for a balance in the gender and ethnic representation of its authors. So at least, half women authors, at least. Of course, more than half would be nice. The activity will be conducted by no more than 2 members of the Parks and Recreation Commission and to avoid too many close issues. The list will be built with the input of regular participants of the book club and the Parks and Recreation Commission will be making the choices. The book club could have a policy of conflict of interest where the commission is coordinating its activities to not push books they earn sales profits from either as authors or publishers. So yes, I'm not going to suggest my book. The book club could be advertised with a sign at City Hall and the postal office, and other fashions of outreach the city may have. Social media accounts will be created, and the denomination could even contact the local newspapers to have listed. So yes, that's the idea. So if you would like to consider that, and if this commission agrees with that, we could ask Cam if they could use the community center for 2 hours. My idea is it's going to start slow. I'm going to bring a book. I would like to start in November if this commission agrees. I don't want to start in October because horror might be scare some people. Start horror off the bat like that. And yes, I'm sure that at first there will be like 2-3 versions, but the idea is that can grow up and snowball and hopefully. But yeah, if after 3 months it's a failure, you should be done.
3 months might not be a long enough test. I think in this town, it takes a while for
Well,
people
especially
to
when
get out.
especially you're starting now.
Yeah,
Right.
it'd be a good time to start to
Yeah.
slowly incorporate it.
Okay, it's a good idea.
I really like this idea. I would be willing to do the social media pages too for that. And also, we could make like an email list, like sign up for an email.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Yeah, and I thought a cool too, if we do it and it goes through the winter and we slowly get people, towards the spring and summer, we could even host it in the park, like in the gazebo. And, we could, weather dependent, like check social media, check the email list, if it's raining, we'll go to the community center, but if it's sunny, let's do it in the park.
Yeah, especially now that we have those picnic tables.
Yeah, exactly, there's a good amount of seating and, a good amount of area, so,
Little potluck.
yeah, so and we could find,
Mhm.
either sponsors or something for like coffee or tea and, cookies, you could definitely
Yeah.
We
have.
also have some local published authors that would
Yes,
probably love to participate in
Mhm.
something like this if we were to select one of their books.
yeah,
They
we could
probably-
have 1 month for local authors for sure.
Mhm,
1 month for Oregon authors and one for Depoe authors for sure.
mhm. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Ely is an author.
Yeah, but that's the profit of this. Yeah, so
That's a great idea.
it's okay. So
Like it.
I love that idea.
Now, I'm not sure if this even calls for us voting on it, because we're not like starting a new, I know it's starting a book club, but is that something that the commission really votes on?
I think yes, because then I would like it will be a Parks and Recreation initiative,
Yeah, support of the
supported by the
commission.
Parks and Recreation.
Okay.
And also, yes, we need to confirm if the city is gonna allow the use of the community center for free in the cold months,
That's probably a non-issue, I think they'll do that.
hopefully.
Well, then if that's the case, then I'd like to, not to interrupt you, but I'd like to make a proposal to, a motion to actually, see who's in favor of this. I definitely am in favor of this book club and especially the fact that, like you mentioned, if you're not into a certain genre, it's not a have to, it's a want to.
Yes, yeah, yes.
And I think that we should, and if again, you want to start the first one, you were thinking October, November,
November.
And however that comes out, you do the best grammar you can as far as that motion.
I second it.
That's the easy part. We don't need to count, all in favor? All right,
Aye.
all opposed? All right, so it passes.
I promise that I'm gonna send you a copy by mail, because last time she asked me to send something and I was in France without a computer, so.
Perfect. That'll be fun, something different. Make me think. And then we're moving on to Loretta. Did you have something else, or Zoe?
Actually, one of the things that I wanted to bring up, but I was gonna wait until toward the end of the meeting, fits perfectly with what Ely has brought up, and that's, in reading through the bylaws and all the things that we should be doing, I was going to throw out a challenge to our commission that by the next meeting, each one of us comes with an idea for Parks and Rec to perhaps adopt. I'm gonna say 1 to 3 ideas. And they're just ideas, things to kick around. They can be a one-time annual event, they can be a quarterly event, they can be monthly, weekly, they can be day, night, anything. I just would really like to see this commission start heading in the direction that the intention of the commission is supposed to be. So that was gonna be my challenge, and I had not thought of book club, but I've got a lot of stuff rolling around in my head, and this fits in absolutely perfectly with that. So you would be off the hook for the next meeting to bring an idea, unless you come up with a second one, or maybe even a third one.
Yeah,
But what
That's
does
good.
everybody think of that we actually put some thought into?
I think it's good.
I think it's great. I was thinking about that when we got the new mandate of the recreation, I remember that we were building, I think it was a little before you joined us.
Mhm, it was.
After that, we were building, I remember I was thinking that Todd, you wanted to have a antique car show, right?
Right, I see that you do that from time to time,
Not sure
and
if it was you or Kenny that had that idea.
It was time.
It was you.
I do have cars and coffee.
Yeah, no, but I mean, an antique car show where.
Yeah, I was talking with Brady, we were talking about maybe. Park, yeah.
I think, we have a
Mhm.
very diverse interests here. We don't need to, embrace every project here. I don't have interest in cars, but I would love to have more events in the city that caters to people who have different interests than me. I'm sure that
Mhm.
not everybody likes books, but I don't have, for example, I have dogs, but I don't like the idea of dressing up my dog, so yes, I'm not gonna go to the Papapalooza,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's great that happens. So,
Right.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's great.
Very good.
Continue on?
No, the heavy stuff. Anybody else have any light ideas?
I had one idea that I wanted to put forward, and this is kind of I guess it kind of falls in between light and heavy ideas, is, I think we should go through, all of the city properties, so like the parks that are owned and designated as parks, but are unlabeled currently or undesignated, and, go about the process of acquiring signage for them. So I talked a little bit with Kim about this, and she said that we'd probably be met with a little resistance from some of the counselors,
We
and
tried
that's
this 2
something,
years ago.
yeah, we'd have to put forward.
Good.
But I think that's something that we should do. I think we should maybe, like, not today, but maybe put this for the next meeting, is, get a list of all of the city properties that are, supposed to be designated as common area or as a park, and go through and see what the process for, even just a little sign, like, signage, so that if, these properties are for the community, they should be
We
designated as
just
such.
finished that in Lincoln City.
Yeah.
Dozens and dozens of signs.
Yeah,
Well, and so before the meeting started, we were talking about, there is a document that is a parks management.
It's an inventory of all the
It's,
dogs.
yeah, and it's 100 pages long, and, so that document would tie in really well with what, because I started to read it and I went, no, this isn't the information that I want right now, and I don't have the time for 100
Right.
pages of unwanted info.
yeah,
But, accessing that and at least, kind of scanning through it and seeing how that fits in, but, yeah, I've discovered, kind of by accident, a couple of areas that, are like just little pieces of grass
yeah.
that
I think
apparently
they would call them
are.
like little pocket parks.
Right.
Yeah.
Parks,
And there's a lot of them too, I mean, it would be something I think, that kind of does tie in with some of the bylaws that we're gonna go over, is like making sure we're doing this in a way that serves the community and the members. And also, we wanna make sure if there are people who live right there, consulting them and making sure that that's
And that's
something that's good with them.
That might be the challenge, because I
Yeah.
see those people don't want they think of some of those areas are like their
Yeah.
own, and
Right.
they're not willing to share it.
Yeah,
For instance, the little city-owned piece of land that's at the end of, is it Ellingson or
Yeah.
Ellington
Down
or
there?
something? Yeah.
That's
And-
a share.
Right, and the VRBO or HBO, whatever, has it fenced off now, and that's city property, it's not their property.
and there's one over on Kent Street that, the city, or,
fence.
it doesn't have a fence, but it has the people who live on either side
Right.
have private property signs, so
We
it
went
makes it
there
look
last year.
like that little area is private
Right.
property.
They were
even
supposed
though
to,
it's
remember
public.
last year, they were supposed to buy that piece, we were gonna give it up, you weren't here, but, we'd gone there, I'm not sure what was on that trip, but they were supposed to offer those people, because they're cheating on the easement of the city. So they were supposed to mark it off, push them back, remember, about 6 feet or whatever it was? And they're fencing off, and that's supposed to be like a city outlook, overlook, if you will.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And that never happened, so I'm not sure why, because we did a lot of parks last year, or whatever it was, 2 years ago. And there was a lot of unsafe places, and then 2 of the places, they found out that were actually, one of the ones you were talking about, remember, where the, bad place? That's not what you were talking about, the lady almost fell?
No, that turns out to be county
Exactly,
property.
that's why we can't do anything, I checked into that too.
I actually contacted the county and
Okay.
I sent them the same information. Someone claimed to be interested, but I haven't heard anything back, so I don't know what they'll do. That was, a woman fell down the embankment, or she may have let herself down there, I don't know. She
Yeah.
was under distress, that's all I know. Anyway, she got down on this embankment in a cut ravine on North Point.
oh, was that just recently?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the 5th, I think it was. And, she had to, first responders and a rope rescue and all of that. And, it's just this weird little strip of land that can't be used for anything. And technically, no one should even have any business being on it, and it is unsafe.
But it
Yeah.
should be,
I think it should be fenced on erosion, right?
Huh?
This one is very eroded.
yes,
Right,
and it should be fenced off or roped off, we talked about this last year
Yeah.
too. There's a couple places like that over there, it should be roped off or something, and
But
Yeah.
I know they're busy.
at some point, somebody's gonna get seriously injured or worse, and there's gonna be major lawsuits.
Yeah, I just
So-
think that's something we should maybe revisit of just, you know,
Right.
taking a look at every city property that's, you know, designated. It
I think
should
that's
be
a
a
great
common
idea.
place and either decide if we wanna put signage there. I mean, even if it's like, you know, some of the ones we have where it's just a rock with a little sign that says like Depoe Bay Outlook. It doesn't have to be like a huge,
Right.
you know,
Right.
sign and a bench, but just something to let people know like, this is for you. You can come and look over here.
Mhm.
Especially because a lot of places too, these back neighborhoods,
Mhm.
it's not a lot of tourists that go through that area, it's the
Right,
community,
and there's like
it's
a little
people
trail
walking.
that goes down, and then all of a sudden, here's a city bench.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like, you know, it doesn't have to be
Yeah, the point has
flashing
one.
lights to
Uh-huh,
make it
yeah.
so people are like,
It's
oh,
just
a
down
bunch of
there.
people are gonna go by my house, but it's just, there's a
Right.
little bench, here's a little area that is just common space and
Mhm.
cause I walk through here a lot and it's nice to have a little bench to go sit on and, you know, as you're walking into town or walking back, so.
I agree.
Yeah, either deciding if we want signage or if we think there, an area needs to be roped off, either or, just kind
At
of
least
going
make the
through and
notes on
looking.
everything.
Yeah,
Maybe have some kind of a sheet that states signage, safety, something to that effect.
and then even just so we can say like, you know, we proposed it, like we said that this area we think should have a rope or we should have signage or.
We did that, I think you did that, no? Remember, Lesha? We had about, 15 or more places and we had all these notes and I know people get busy, I get it. You know, but that's, and there's only, one person now, I think we have 3 full-time parks guys?
No, I don't think 3 full-time,
Oh.
we have 2,
Okay,
but yeah. But I think it would have to come before the council.
of course it would, yeah.
And then you would meet some representatives, at least a couple that I know
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
because they're concerned about the attention assigned to locals,
Yeah,
and they don't want to increase foot traffic.
No, right.
Yeah.
Tourists,
and then, yeah,
It's something you're not even know about them, because like you said, it's in these you're only gonna know if you go there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think too, it's something we could even like, if we go and talk with, you know, the property owners on either side, and like, what do you think about this? If we put a, you know, a sign here, how would that impact you? And then go before the council and be able to say, this is what we found, this is what we're proposing, you know, we're not, either way, we just wanna put it forward, it's not
Yeah.
gonna be we're not gonna
Yeah.
be down and
I
out
think,
if there isn't signage, it's just something we wanna
In that
suggest.
case, is there's gonna have pushback.
Oh, of course,
Yeah,
right,
of
yeah.
course.
We need to push back.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
tell them we're not gonna have Facebook tour list, it's
Yeah.
just gonna be for
And it's
locals
something
and-
too, is like, if there is pushback, it's, you know,
Yeah.
we just want what the
I'm honest,
community
yeah.
wants, it's
Yeah.
Right.
just something that we wanna put forward and suggest if it's something the community does want.
Good idea.
And then one more, sorry.
Yeah.
Another, this will probably fall for the next meeting. I think we're maybe getting a little too close to like Halloween to maybe plan any Halloween themed events. Yeah, but I do think maybe at the next meeting, I know it's gonna seem a little early, but we should start talking about any holiday, Christmas kind of events, anything we wanna do for like the window decorating, anything like that. We should start talking next week, cause it's gonna creep up on us, or
Right.
next month, cause it's gonna creep up really
Well,
fast.
and that can fall into my idea of bringing suggestions.
Yeah.
Those kind of things can be some of the
Right.
suggestions, and again, you know, if it's an annual event, all the better, then it's on the calendar and we don't have to think about it again every year.
Right,
It just rolls around.
okay, shall we?
Okay, so, before we do that, I wanted to ask one more thing about,
Please.
so this little swath of land where the woman went down. Again, I'm very clear on the fact that it is county property, although the person I talked to, at the, Property Management Commission in, for Lincoln County denied it at first, but then she pulled up the right map and she said, oh, I see exactly where you're talking about, so we're good on that. But is there any way, and this may be something that needs to be brought up to the city council, is there any way that the city of Depoe Bay can encourage them to do something? Because again, someday somebody's gonna go over that and get hurt or die or something.
Well, yeah, they can.
And-
Because just the sign we have over there now, remember coming in the other sub part of the city, this is entering Depot Bay? We encourage them to put a larger sign. It's right as you turn in here to come here,
Okay,
and they did that.
okay, and so should I approach city council about encouraging them to
What would be
contact the county?
What are the steps? The steps
I
are
mean,
Brady
all
first.
I did was as a property owner and someone who actually witnessed
Yeah.
a big part of the commotion.
I would say probably city council, when you go to one of their meetings, bring it up there first, and they can always guide you.
Okay, I did,
Yeah.
Kim on that email.
Yeah.
She doesn't to Brady, copy Kim so that she's aware. And then if you wanna add it to the agenda for the council, to bring that up, then she can do that.
So copy Kim on what?
If you're gonna send something to Brady asking him his thoughts,
Okay,
and then, yeah.
Yeah.
okay, what I'll do is, so I revised the email that I sent for city council when this first happened, once I found out it was, the county. I revised it for the county, so maybe I will attach that to a letter
Yeah,
to
CC
Brady and say, this is what I sent to the city, and I would highly encourage, this is what I sent to the county, and I highly encourage the city to follow up on this.
It makes
Okay.
sense, because you're right, if you get a lawsuit, it's gonna be massive.
Yeah, it will be.
It's either a sign or a fence or something, cause a lot of the,
Well, even,
Well,
empty
all the
properties
property
across the
owners-
coast have a fence.
Yeah, all the property owners have a fence, but then there's a swath of land on the other side that can be
Yeah.
accessed
Mhm.
from either end.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't necessarily be on private property.
No.
Even to get there, although my hunch is this woman, so right where she went down is a vacant lot.
Yeah, I know where it
And
is.
it's been just a blackberry field for years, but somebody bought it a year or so ago and is planning to build there, so they've been keeping the blackberries down. My hunch is she walked right through there.
Yeah.
this was a planned situation,
Yeah.
part.
It
Well,
sounds
so
like,
the property that she was down in that crevice area, that's county property?
yes,
And then what about the lot that she walked through to get to that?
that's
private.
private property.
So wouldn't
And
we
the, and
try and
the,
get the private property owners,
they
go and
already,
contact them to put a fence? Cause there's a lot of
well,
like
I have no idea about that. They,
If it's
Because
They
wouldn't it
did
be
put
their
a- they have
responsibility
put a
if they
trespassing-
traveled through that?
They have put a no trespassing sign, so basically there's bushes and then there's a wide opening, big enough for one of the city emergency vehicles to get through.
There might be an easement that's the cities as opposed to, or the counties, as opposed to her private property.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, cause there's so many of the, like the houses along the coast, if there's not a house, it's just the property, they have fences up to keep people from walking through their property onto the cliffs, cause the cliffs aren't their property, that's,
Well, if nothing,
So if someone goes and hurts themselves on the cliffs, that would technically be like a county property, but they had to go through private property to get to that.
right,
So I'm just wondering if maybe
there is another
the
area.
private property owners need to put a fence up to keep people from getting through that.
You can't make, we tried that, like, and say you can't make them do that.
That's just what I was
All
gonna
they
say, I
have to
don't
do is
think
put
you
one sign that says no trespassing, and they're covered liability wise.
You did say they have no trespassing sign.
Yeah, that,
Okay,
Yeah, they
That's-
put,
So
they
if
put
they
up
have
a
that-
single no
that's all,
trespassing sign.
that's all you need.
And it's up on the road, it's on Spencer, it's where you would enter their property, but they put that up the same day.
On top of that, would you like a fence as well, or another sign?
I want the county, that's private property, I want the county to put up danger and no trespassing signs on that swath of land.
Okay.
I'm not concerned about the private
Right.
property.
but the swap of, is it land or is it just that ditch that she had fallen in, that's the county?
No, there's a swath of land that probably goes from 0 feet to maybe 6 feet wide.
Oh, okay,
That runs, so basically we've got, here's that cut, and there's, homes over
Yeah.
here. And this is the swath of land
that's
that is owned by the
technically
county.
Okay,
And at this house, so this house is 535. And last winter, this erosion happened and it came clear up to their deck post. No, not the deck post, to their fence post. Part of their fence post, I don't think is.
I can make a quick, from Kim,
Mhm.
if you're interested. So she said that the area that you're speaking of is not city-owned park property, which you know.
Right.
So the city doesn't have any control or management over it. Brady, though, did inform her that there isn't any kind of an official public access to that property.
Right,
So, so how it will end up there, I'm not sure. But the map does say, while the map does say park, that isn't the city's park, but she's attached a report from the assessor's office that notes the piece is county owned. So other than sharing the information with the county, like you were saying you'd like to do, which you totally can do, on this incident. There isn't anything the city necessarily can do, but, she said she was planning on sharing this information with the council.
Okay,
In her report, which I do believe she did last night when I attended.
Okay,
So
I
she
didn't,
let
I
them
couldn't see that
know,
last night.
so, yeah, so she can let them know what happened as well. But you can, yeah, if you wanna further, your concerns about that, I would say contact her,
Okay.
Bobby Brady, or.
But one of the things that's interesting about this area is Harney is the street that runs, just immediately north of the bank. And it runs straight down to this cut. And while Harney is a city street, once it gets down to that cut area, then that becomes county property. And so what I see often is people, mostly from like World Mark and whatnot, they'll come walking along and they'll go down Harney, and then they start going along in front of property lines between that cut and fences. And when I see them, I go out there and tell them that they're on private property and to leave. And most of the time they're, oh, I'm sorry, usually they say, oh, we were just looking at how to get down to the beach. Well, this is Depoe Bay.
Yes.
Do you not see the cliffs here? But,
it's a big
So it
deal.
would be a county issue.
Yeah, and
If the
so-
county
It's not.
would have to put a sign or put a fence.
Explicitly.
Right, so it sounds like Kim already did what you were gonna do, but if you wanted to do a follow-up meeting, that wouldn't be
I will,
bad.
yeah. I'll send her a copy, I'll send a letter to an email to Brady and to Kim, letting them know what I've done and encouraging them to follow through, and then I will do my piece, I
Good
guess.
idea.
And then, yeah, if other people maybe wanna reach out to the county too and express, maybe if they have enough people.
Yeah.
Messaging them or emailing them about the issue,
Right.
maybe
Yes,
they'll actually step in.
it takes a lot of squeaky wheels.
It does often, doesn't it?
Mm.
Okay.
All right, now some more fun stuff.
Okay, so, when I became a commissioner, I originally asked for the bylaws and I didn't get them, and then and then when we missed, our last meeting was canceled, and the meeting before that was when the topic of, the fact that we were commissioners meant that we would be volunteering at other events.
Mhm.
And I had never seen anything like that, so that's what got my interest again about the bylaws. So I went snooping around and found bylaws that are not called bylaws. Apparently, according to Kim, this is just the way Depoe Bay does it, so it's actually an ordinance, and I think you all have a copy of that.
Mhm.
And so then, at not last night's city council meeting, but the city council meeting before that, Councilor Sovern brought up housekeeping issues with just all sorts of things. And I started looking at this and thinking, yeah, we need to do some housekeeping here, because there's a lot of stuff here so I don't know if everyone had seen this before and I had not, and I was the only one, or if no one had ever seen this before, but it exists, and I think it's worth taking a look at. So I highlighted a bunch of things that struck me as I went through it, so I'll just kind of,
Just state where you're at so we can follow you.
yeah, so under Exhibit A, page 2 of 6, starting there. Our purpose, and I think we all know what the purpose is, but I don't think we're actually achieving that. And so that's kind of where my idea for bringing some ideas to the table, and where Ely's idea about a book club would fit in,
Absolutely.
is that our purpose is to enhance the quality of life of Depoe Bay through promotion of parks and recreation facilities and programs, including programs for senior citizens. Commission will assist the city in creating and developing parks and facilities, in implementing programs which will provide for greater leisure and educational opportunities for Depoe Bay residents. So those are really great things, and that's exactly what we ought to be doing, and I would love to see us really focus and move in that direction. Then the next thing is, there's a bunch of stuff here about attendance that I think has been pretty loosely overlooked. I don't really care, to tell you the truth, but I do think everybody needs to know what our expectations about attendance are and excuses and failures to show up at meetings and all of that. The next thing I want to bring up is organization of the commission. It says here we are to have a president and vice president. Now, I've never heard Robert be referred to as our president, but I'm sure that that is exactly the role that you play here.
That's, Kim's the only one that's ever called me that.
Okay, but regardless, we don't have anybody as Plan B.
Right.
So in the last year that I've been on this commission, I think there was only one meeting that you were unavailable for, and the meeting got moved to a different time to accommodate your
Right.
schedule.
Mhm.
But I don't see that as being an ongoing good solution.
Agreed. Yeah.
And so I do think that we might want to talk about getting a vice president or co-chair or whatever it would be called. I looked at all the other commissions and committees online, and almost all of them have a chair and co-chair, or president and vice president listed. Some of them do not, and we don't have anything listed, so you're just listed as a member
Right.
online. So I do think that we might want to talk about that at some point.
And just so you know, Lincoln City has no co-chair, there's the chair and there's the members. And their commission, Parks and Rec commission.
Well,
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, just,
and
that's how they do
if
it.
that's what needs to happen, then this
No, I don't
needs
have
to
a
be
problem
revised.
changing things and having
Yeah,
somebody else vote, it means nothing.
right, exactly. Again, it's just kind of a housekeeping thing.
So do we
And,
wanna
you know,
decide
heaven
that
forbid, if
now?
you were to get sick or need to have surgery or something and be out for 2 or 3
Right.
months, then what?
Yeah.
So we do,
I think it's also great, one thing we haven't done, which is, and I'm okay with, but I think it needs to start as of next year, is you guys need to vote on a different chair. Because
Yeah,
you need to have
it says
somebody,
first of the year
rotating.
here, doesn't it?
Yes.
we
Yeah.
can or can't, like I said, the person at Depoe Bay, she was up every year and Depoe Bay, Lincoln City, this is her 3rd year in a row, she just got voted, because first of all, nobody wants to do it.
there is
It's,
that.
it's much different than here. This is much more relaxed. I will tell you that is, they asked me and I turned it down because it's a tremendous amount of work. It's a whole different type of,
Yeah,
Well, but in part because their Parks Commission is very active and
No, I
does a lot of things.
well, and they have crazy money.
Yeah, they have some-
They have money to do
some of that.
We don't have.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
they also have a lot more people.
Yeah, I know, which is why I enjoy
But
our
so-
events.
So for this, organization of the commission, is that something we wanna decide and talk about now? Or is that
Well-
something we, are we going through this and, or do we have the ability to revise these bylaws?
Yes.
Okay,
What I would suggest is we just go through it now and then come back to the things that we think need serious attention. So for instance, Robert bringing up us voting, it clearly says the first meeting of the year, the commission shall elect
Right,
the
that's-
president. So what if we put that on the agenda for our January meeting?
Absolutely.
And we come up with a president and a vice president.
but then, so should we decide now that we will decide the president and vice president on the first of the year, and we'll
The
just
first
do
meeting.
this as we are
I think
until
That's what it
then?
says right here. so
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Well, it's what said that all along, and when I took over for Stan years ago, he just,
And you're still there.
yeah. And I mean, it's okay. I love doing this stuff, but I think it's somebody, it'd be okay.
Yeah.
Because.
So what I meant was, should we keep it as it's written and decide that on the first of the year, or should we adjust that to being just one chair and decide that on the first of the year, or should we keep it as written and decide that on?
I say keep it as written.
I do too.
Yeah.
But you know, also, if you wanted to, we could, you got excited. We could also put on the table for next month that we actually have an acting, we change it from chair to president and get a vice president. Or does that, or we cannot do that in the middle?
And it does say, in absence, the post president, if president's offices are vacant.
Hi.
the
I just
commission-
want to peek in and say hi, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Good to see you.
The commission will appoint a member to serve as president pro tem or interim role
I just think it
until
would-
January.
Okay.
forward until with the next,
So
whatever
first
the
of all.
next one is. So,
So we could actually, if we wanted to, make a motion to, number one, change it from chair to president and vice, and
It's
do it.
president right now.
It is
Oh,
president,
okay,
yeah.
then that's what it should be, and change it and, get a vice president.
Yes.
We can do it sooner rather than later.
you wanna do that?
I'm asking, what are you guys' thoughts on it, or you wanna wait till the first of the year?
Well, I think.
We're almost there.
I'm almost there, so I.
Yeah.
We'll just feel maybe the vice president, make official that Robert's the president and choose the vice president until the end of this term and then.
And then
also in January.
readdress them first.
Well,
Please,
in case something was to happen, you should have somebody.
I agree,
Step in.
I have no problem with that.
I mean, between now and the first of the year, anything could happen. Not saying it would, and hope it would.
Wow.
Yeah. Gosh, you're really advocating for
Wow, I
this
know,
right
right?
now.
What was that movie, Destination, part 6?
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, I
What
want,
happened to Robert?
God
Yeah.
forbid.
yeah. But, chances of something happening, about the same as me getting taller, but,
Yeah.
no, I think it's a good idea. I think we should, well, how would we go about that, if we were to do something like that right now? for
So I wanna be clear, you guys what you wanna do is you wanna appoint a vice, since there's not currently a vice president, we refer to you as chair, but it does say president.
All right, so let's change that around.
Put it to
So
chair,
what you wanna do is.
No, we don't, you wanna just leave it,
keep it
President,
president.
keep it president and vice president, that's what all the other
you
ones
wanna
do.
add a vice president.
Yes.
And so you wanna hold a, election, or, you wanna vote.
Amongst ourselves and whatever,
Yeah,
think
and
about it.
then you also want to, your intention is to wait until January to
Two,
then,
yeah.
so the vice president is gonna serve interim until January. Well,
Yeah.
for-
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that
With-
makes sense.
yeah, okay, so I think we,
And then maybe change if, I've never even known this, which I should have known,
yeah,
that it shouldn't be chair, it should be, the president as opposed to that, and
I didn't either, and also Zoe's right, every year in January, there's supposed to be, all the commissions and committees are supposed to go through and
Right.
either their chairs or you want to serve again, or you want someone else in, they can. We haven't always been consistent with that, but our intention going forward is to be
Good.
more consistent.
I think it should
If
be.
you can give me a moment though, I do wanna ask her if there needs
Yeah.
to be a motion about this.
Yeah,
Just 1 second.
I think it's a great idea, because over at, in Lincoln City, I was on the planning commission 3 years, and every year they have a new chair. And I was
Well,
blessed,
they don't
Yeah.
get burned.
right,
Yeah,
and I was, well, trust me, 3 years of that was not only 3 years, this is fun.
yeah.
That was.
And if you want, who's to say if whoever the vice and president is
Right.
right now, they might just wanna do, we all might agree that they just continue for the next year too. But I think it'll be good to have that discussion at the first of
Absolutely.
the year, no matter what, and just say,
At least
do we
we'll
wanna
make it-
keep it going the same way it is,
make it
or switch
official.
things up?
I think it's,
I mean,
change is good, change is
I
good.
have a kind of a basic question. How many of you had ever actually seen this until I called it to everybody's attention?
I wanna see if I
I've seen
have
bits of
it.
somewhere, I don't know where.
My recollection is of a shorter document than this, but it was so long ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I may have seen it when I first started, but I honestly don't
Yeah.
remember.
No, I know I asked twice, one of the times I asked, Kim in a meeting in her office, and she said, I can send it to you, but it's long.
That's what
So
they
then
do.
when I found this,
Yeah.
I thought, well, this can't be it, so I sent it to Kim and said, is this the bylaws, or am I looking at the wrong thing? So,
Gina?
Okay, so what we can do is, if you guys wanna vote in the vice president tonight, interim until January, all you have to do is make a motion and second and vote, and that's it. So if you already have decided who you'd like to be the vice president tonight, you can have that motion tonight. If you want to change anything about the bylaws, if that's a discussion that's gonna be ongoing, that's gonna be more.
I don't see anything changing, but I like it as it is.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
far, but if
Yeah.
there is something you wanna change, what's our process for that?
So that would have to go before council.
That's it.
Okay,
So you would need to make the recommendations, and then it would have to go through the whole process back with the charter commission.
Right.
I didn't see anything in here, and I've read through it like 3 times. I didn't see anything in here that I felt like really needed to be changed. I just felt like there were things that needed
We should.
So
for
it's
us to
addressed.
become aware of.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I've
this is
seen
what I said.
somewhere down the road, because I knew about the 3 days missing, so apparently I'm.
Well, that's normal,
seeing
yeah.
somewhere. But,
Well, I think it was talked about more than seen.
but changing all this, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I think it's
but if there is something we wanna change, we just
Yeah.
make the recommendation
Right.
to council,
All-
but
Every commission and committee has that right.
gotcha. But as it stands, if we're just addressing the things that are in here,
Yeah.
we don't have to
You
implement
can
ordinance
call
for that.
housekeeping, like Loretta mentioned,
Gotcha.
just little things you want to make sure to entrench them.
Yeah.
Well,
Better.
I would encourage everybody to, now that you actually have this, I'd encourage everybody to read through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because then if there are questions, we can talk about that at the next meeting. I just wanted to point out some things that I thought we were either not doing, that we could do better,
Yeah.
or whatever,
I think
so.
it's, yeah, I think it's a great idea, and I think
Okay.
change is a great idea, because, again, I'm getting, there's other things going on as well, I think it's a good time for everybody, and what I'd like to suggest before we even do this is, I mean, we can talk about the make a motion to change it right now, because I'd rather not wait till the first of the year, we can make it more official, make it interim right now, Vice President, but I would like to know, first of all, I'd like to make a motion to change or not change the bylaw, but to add into it right now that we vote for, or nominate and or vote for Vice President
Okay,
for,
one more thing
I'm sorry.
before you do that, oh no, I'm sorry, one more thing, just announce as the chair that you'd like to add that to the agenda tonight.
okay, as the chair, I'd like to add that we're gonna be voting for an interim Vice President for the rest of the year 2025, and also change from chair to president and go President, Vice President.
It is.
It is president, we keep telling you
Oh,
that.
no, I know that, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
in any correspondence we get, because all I've
Okay.
ever been called is such and such,
Yeah.
I mean, this group, and I want it to be like everybody else.
Okay,
I think chair is like a nickname also, it's if you are the president, but also we refer to other members who are president as the chair, because they're typically, they have the, you know.
Oh, I
the
see.
chair, the-
Okay,
So
then
it's
forget
kind
what I
of
just said.
an offshoot of a name, but it's.
Yeah,
It's not like
same
the official,
role. No,
official name.
right.
Yeah,
The official name is president.
Correct, yeah,
No, but then when every time I get something correspondence, it says chair as opposed to,
yes,
so it's just, okay, no big deal, then forget that part then.
okay.
okay.
Is there anybody right now that has a, interest in being the,
I nominate Kenny, he's not here.
Yeah,
I was gonna
he
nominate,
comes to the next meeting, yeah, vice president.
I was gonna nominate Zoe. And, because she has a lot of interest, as well as being in business here, contacts, Facebooking, I mean, all that stuff, it makes a big difference too. And,
I nominate him.
No, I don't make Loretta.
This is beginning to remind me of Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. I'll also nominate Loretta.
there,
I was gonna nominate Zoe, so.
Well,
Loretta, okay.
well, put it this way, instead of being, at this point, I don't care. So who would like to be the
Who
vice
would like
president?
to, does anybody wanna step up?
Does anybody want to step up and be vice chair? I mean, vice president?
Is there a reason why you would not want to do that?
just,
Your organizational skills seem good to me.
they're good, I'm just kind of I'm just the newbie, I'm just the,
Doesn't mean you're stepping up to chair as a
No.
vice president,
I've
president
only
next
been
year.
here a month or maybe two more than
see,
you.
that's 2 months of experience. that you
Yeah, but we
have
haven't
over
done
me.
anything in this length of time either, so.
No.
I mean,
Todd's just sitting there being quiet, let's nominate Todd.
yeah. I mean, I can do it.
Well, I'm still, how many votes for Zoe?
All right,
Okay,
you're-
fine.
unanimous.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
So I'm
You
gonna-
better not be missing any meetings then
Now,
until
did
the
I
first
tell
of
you
the
next
year.
month that, no? So it's official that Zoe Teplick will be the vice president pro tem, is that what you call it, or interim?
Same, yeah.
And then you
So-
guys can, and it'll follow into 2026, and you guys
So for the
can,
remainder of the term.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
Which is until-
Till the first.
And then.
then the first meeting of.
First meeting in January.
So, we can actually, if you guys remember, we talked about this last year. There was a memo that came out from Kim in January, first part, something happened, because we were supposed to vote on this in the last January, and we never did. And I just thought there was a reason that maybe nobody wanted to do it, so that's fine.
I think it just got pushed aside and forgotten about, to be honest.
Yeah.
For 5 years? No complaints, but,
Okay,
all right, so,
move on.
yes,
All right, so
And
then I just want
Yes.
to,
where we at?
32.16, page 4 of 6 is the next thing that I highlighted.
Okay,
And that's just again, excused absences, making sure that we all know who is excused. This actually says that, the president is to report that, and Kim always has, again, I have no issue with that, I just wanna make sure that we're all informed of who's not gonna be at a meeting. And then under 32.20, page 5 of 6, I've highlighted almost everything. So general powers and duties, and a lot of this is just repetition of the first, couple of paragraphs in this document, but we are to act as an advisory capacity to the city council and city staff on matters pertaining to public recreation, parks, recreation/community center facilities, and open space, playgrounds, and music and entertainment as may from time to time be performed in city parks. We are to aid in coordinating recreation and park services, blah, blah, and that's, I think, the part where we're expected to volunteer when we can. We are to review recreational services, facilities, and parks that exist or may be needed and advise the city council as needed. I know some of that work was done before I came on board about making changes down at the big city park and the pathway and all of that. We are to recommend to city council fees or changes to be paid by residents.
Charges.
Pardon me?
Charges.
Oh, charges, sorry, yes. That is exactly what I see and exactly what I did not say.
That's okay.
Recommended to the city council fees or charges to be paid by residents and non-residents for use of city recreational facilities or for participation in city recreational programs. That one piqued my interest because there has recently been changes in fees charged for the community hall, perhaps for the main park too, I don't know. But we were never consulted on that, we were never asked for our input,
No.
and it clearly says here that that is one of our general powers and duties is to recommend.
Yeah, Gina, you can check into that, because I don't know the price
Well, it
difference
says
either.
we can recommend, but it doesn't say that they
We
have
don't
to
change it.
consult
No,
us.
Well, true,
Yeah, so we can say like, we think that it should be more or less, but they don't have to say,
well,
get our permission to change.
No, but we
more or
need to be
less.
part of the process.
yeah, and it was,
Oh, do we
to
need
the
to
best of my knowledge, it was never even brought up that there was a fees change consideration on anybody's table. I think I heard about it in looking at minutes for city council or something. I don't remember, but I know it's been recent.
I don't know what the fees are.
The other thing, well, they have gone up this year. I think it used to be like $76 for a resident to rent the
Hall?
community hall for 24 hours, and now it's 125 or something like that.
Yeah, it's gone up.
Yeah, but I had never heard anything about it until after the fact, so.
Okay.
The next thing is gather community opinions, needs, and perceptions regarding recreational opportunities and needs. A survey went out a couple months ago about making some changes to the city park, to the playground in particular. I knew nothing about that until I saw that the survey was posted on a Facebook page. And so again, that's something that I feel like we should have had some input in that, or at least been made aware of.
To be clear, that started 2 years ago,
Oh, okay,
and we had already had
We got a bunch of
pictures and plans and prices and all kinds of
Okay.
things from the parks and the different
I
things. It
think
just
that
kind of,
there was some recommendations made from.
right, from us.
From former.
Okay, all right.
But the budget was never, I think it was approved, but then we just never saw any progress after that, because one of the companies we were gonna use is no longer. So they were switching to a different, I can't really composite type of material that's made on it.
Correct,
They were
yes.
switching.
There was some objection about that composite.
Right, so we just need more feedback. So we did do this, it just wasn't.
that's good to know.
Yeah, it hasn't been talked about.
I do know, Kim said something like we'd only gotten like 13 maybe responses to that survey, and that almost everybody was over 55, I think she said.
Yeah.
I will say, it was very hard to access the survey, in my opinion. It was, I think the only way, it was a QR code that was on, like a picture of a QR code that you couldn't access if you were on your phone, because you had to
I
scan
was
the
able
QR
to.
code, because I wasn't able to
Yeah,
get
but
to
most
it.
people in this town, I mean, even me, I'm not in this town, but I'm an older person, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised by one thing, and that was at the at the National Night Out,
Mhm.
Kim came around with a good sized handful of surveys and
Yes.
wanted to put them down here for the
Yes.
hot dog
Yes.
stand, hot dog area, and ask if we would call people's
Matter of
attention.
fact, you were volunteering them.
And I stepped up and said, because all I was doing was putting a hot dog in a bun. Suzanne could do both of those jobs all by herself. And so I volunteered to go around and talk to people, which I did.
Mhm.
And I was actually really shocked at the number of people when I said, you can either take this form, fill it out, and mail it back to, or drop it off at City Hall, or you can scan the QR code online. Almost everybody said, oh, I'll just scan the QR code. And there were people who were older than me, and I'm
Wow.
old, who said that.
Wow.
Yeah,
And, you know, I know how to do that, but only because I'm a business owner and I have to know how to do that.
But also,
Yeah.
to interrupt, and you guys can either agree or not agree, but for the most part, every single time we have a meeting, it's posted. This is where all their surveys and volunteers can come in too. Every single time we've done it. You know how many people we've had in the last 5 or 6 years that have come in here? Maybe 10
Right,
to even sit in the meeting.
right. I've never, the only person I've seen come in is the farmer's market.
Right, but I mean, it is out there and it's
Right.
in the Facebook, it's all easy to access if you want to be a part of it. In any group, not just here, it's the same thing everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I think a bit of that comes back down to we, as a society in general, not just Depoe Bay, we rely too heavily on things like Facebook. Lots of
I
people
agree.
don't have Facebook.
I agree.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally, I have come to absolutely detest Facebook. And someday I'm gonna go through and delete literally probably close to 3,000 Facebook friends.
Right,
Because I'll have no need for that
sure,
network
that's
anymore.
fear, I gotcha.
But even if somebody is active on Facebook, and even if somebody follows a person or a group,
Mhm.
for instance, the city of Depoe Bay, I follow them, hardly ever does anything from the city of Depoe Bay show up, because really your feed, it's just what's in front of you.
Yeah, I agree.
It's in front of you in that screen right at that second,
Yeah.
and then how much time you're willing to scroll.
Right.
And, you know, Facebook is just not an effective tool in that regard.
Yeah, that's
So-
why I think for the book club, I'd like to try and put an email list together.
Yeah,
Well, I
Like,
have,
cause that's
I'd
how
do
we
that.
did for like the crab feed volunteers, and
Right.
it got
yeah,
a lot more interaction
well,
because it's.
I would
straight
like to
email.
see, I'd like to, and I brought this up before, and you know, Councilor Soren has as well. I'd like to see the city of Depoe Bay have a newsletter.
right,
I've suggested that too, yeah.
But if that isn't going to happen, and if, so, further into my notes of things I wanna talk about today, if we're going to become more active and productive with the things that a Parks and Rec Commission should be doing,
Mhm.
then if nothing else, we need to have a newsletter that people can sign up for.
right,
That they're then gonna know that the book club meeting is at, 7 PM, the first Wednesday of every month.
and if it changes,
Yeah,
Right,
or if we're
and-
gonna meet in the park or
Right.
the, you know,
Right,
anywhere.
Yeah.
and if, we can ask them, we can ask them questions and get their opinions on things, and, if we decide, like when the, fire in Lahaina took place and the mayor put together a wonderful benefit, and word did get out about that. But, that kind of thing that comes up kind of at the last minute. There's a need, Depoe Bay can step up and fill this
Right.
need in some regard, we'd love to have you join us. So I think a newsletter would be a great
but
idea.
I just wanna make a quick note, let's keep that as a footnote and let's do that,
Okay,
but let's get through the rest of your.
okay. Make recommendations concerning beautification and development, blah, blah, blah. Again,
We
something we don't really do, maybe we did, but,
The only thing recently we've done like that is talk about the brick path.
right, exactly. So in my year plus of serving, we've not done that. Recommend policies on recreation and park services for approval by city council. Make studies and recommend rules and regulations for adoption. Participate in the development and implementation of public events on behalf of the city, sponsored by
We
the
do
city.
that.
At the direction of city council, blah, blah, develop and implement of events primarily serving the residents of Depoe Bay. Those are the things that I really wanna focus on. I really wanna focus on making Depoe Bay feel more like the community that
Yeah.
once felt like.
Yeah.
I want to focus on ways for us to get to know our neighbors and find people we have common interests
So let's
with.
come up with some, like in the idea part, remember we talked about? Let's come up with some new events.
Right,
Different
that's what I'm
events.
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If
You know what I mean?
everybody come back with 1 to 3
Uh,
at the October meeting, and we will, and, you know, and who knows? Maybe those 1 to 3 that everybody comes up with will trigger something, something even better.
Right.
Who knows? The last thing the last thing here is just a question. So committees,
Where you at?
page 6 of 6,
Mhm.
32.21.
Mhm.
Commission shall have the authority to establish standing ad hoc committees, blah, blah, as set forth in section 1.2 herein. Where is 1.2? Is that supposed to be this first page? It has a 1, but there's no .2. I don't know what that's even referring to, because all of the other things are in the 32s.
Yeah, let's see that.
So I just wanted some clarification on that.
I think it's just mistyped, or the 32 is because 32 is Parks and Rec. That it's the .02 is the 1.2, I think it's just,
So you think that's this first page?
yeah, it's the
Sign
purpose.
Oh, the purpose, yeah.
The 1.2, because it's the 32.02 is the purpose, and then it just says on here
Oh,
1.2.
okay, so you think maybe the 3 is missing there or something?
Yeah, it should be either 32.02.
Okay, I just wanted to know if there was something
I think it's
missing
just
there.
a little,
Yep.
You know, so much of this is basically repetitious, that I
Yeah.
figured there wasn't anything important, but on the off chance, I just
Yeah,
wanted
no,
to.
good. What I do wanna find and bring up the fact is, we only hear bits and pieces, but what, Gina, what is our, I mean, I know the city overall budget, what are we allocated for Park and Rec?
That budget question, I do not know at this point. I need to.
Can we just make a
check
note
on
to
that.
maybe find out?
Yes, I can ask him, I can
And
also
Because
ask
we're
him.
going real quick, that same thought, and we talked about this, remember, a year or two ago, with the parks, and we said, oh, this money's there, all this stuff, but yet, nothing's happened.
Right.
And these people ask us constantly, when are we getting the new apparatus? Now, we were supposed to get part 2 of the whale, but something happened with material, we didn't get that.
You haven't heard nothing about the bridge either.
The bridges are done.
Bricks.
Oh, the bridge, yeah, no, nothing, you're right.
I heard,
Yeah, I
we
think-
discussed it. and-
There were prices, and one company doesn't do it now.
We voted on the color.
Yeah.
I think there's a further consideration about the,
Soil and stuff.
like installation or something.
no, the composite material of
Oh,
the
oh,
bricks
that's
and
right.
it not holding up with our weather.
That's right.
Like it.
Oh, that's right, because one of them had
just
some kind of plastic in it to hold it better.
Like, so I think Kim was gonna need to do some research
Okay.
on that.
I'm just curious if we could get maybe, by next meeting, we have,
Yeah, it would be nice to have an ongoing update about projects that we have been involved in.
yeah, we knew that. But they were gonna do, well, they had X amount, and then we were gonna do a volunteer thing, and,
I can check in her about that.
Okay.
But I do believe it was cost and,
material.
material disintegration.
Yeah, just to find
Yeah.
out.
I do think there was some like logistical concerns I had said of like, because we wanted to do like the engraving and have like
Right.
custom bricks, but then
Right.
we'd have to have the whole thing installed, there would be some that would have to be blank, but then if you had to engrave them later, like there was kind
Well,
of.
we looked into getting some of the engraving filled with the resin material. We looked into seeing how much it cost whole to get the path done
Right.
and cost was.
Oh, yeah.
really
Yeah.
It's
something.
that's
So
a,
I think that's
Okay.
something to do with it.
just
Yeah.
curious, I mean, if we're not gonna do it, then if we're not gonna do a path, then let's do a wall, let's do something where we can still put that, like at Lincoln City, they didn't do a path at this new park. They're doing a massive wall, every not 20 feet tall, but for all, whoever wants to be sponsored and all this stuff, so people can, it's like a thank you back to the community, or if you want your loved ones, or, that way it's done.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
They have the same weather as we do.
I can ask her about that, and I'm also gonna ask her about the section 1.2,
Okay.
because if that's a typo, then we should correct that.
Yeah.
Great, thank you, appreciate that.
Okay.
So then, the word budget you mentioned. Somewhere in here, I guess maybe I didn't highlighted, or maybe I'm imagining something. But I also remember at our meeting, one of our meetings early in 2025, Kim saying that she was working on the budget and that she wanted our input on budget, I think by June. Never came up again. So again, I have no idea what,
Again, these are questions,
yeah, I have
follow
no,
up, I'm gonna follow up.
yeah, I have no idea what our budget is, which is gonna be really helpful, especially if we're gonna take on, you know, new project ideas. We need to know what our budget is, and I think on an ongoing basis, the Parks and Rec Commission needs to have some sort of input on what our projected budget might be for the next
Right,
year.
and see, I'm not comparing it's apples and oranges, I get it, but like, for example, my next meeting is today over in the LC Park and Rec. We get a budget every meeting. Remember, it's a whole different animal, because they
Yeah.
get the community center, they have a gym, they have all this, but there's a breakdown of everything done in the city, everything done, if there's a new building that goes up, if there's new carpeting somewhere, there's a budget breakdown we get to see every single month.
That would be great.
Just a thought, that we should,
Well, that can be in the agenda item for the next meeting then, if you
Please.
discuss that, and I can make sure that there's a budget number.
okay, that'd be great, thank you so much. Any other, since we're doing that, any other thoughts and ideas?
I'll just go back to the newsletter point.
Yeah.
We have the mandate as the Parks Commission, Parks and Recreation Commission, to make recommendations to the City Council. So I would like to, propose a motion that we make that recommendation now. We should recommend to the City Council to discuss a newsletter from the city, or maybe even, a mailed newsletter that we, for example, I know that would in principle add costs for the city, but the city mails a bill every month, so that could be an attachment and save a postage money.
I just want clarification, so do you want the newsletter to only focus on Parks and Recreation Commission, or are you
I
saying
would
the
like
newsletter
the,
focus
so
on
the
city?
motion,
Okay.
okay, that's, to clarify, I think the motion I would like to make is, I would like to recommend for the city council to discuss if they would like to have a general newsletter for the city that could include Parks and Recreation, or just one for Parks and Recreation. They should, because I think that there are other topics that is important from other areas. So, expressing that the Parks Commission has a need to publicize our activities.
Events.
Real quick, just a discussion or motion briefly. I think they would have something they do for overall Depot Bay. Now, wouldn't you want something more separate just for us?
I don't want something separate.
Oh,
I'd like
okay.
them to discuss that. If they don't
So
want
to be a part of
something
them, okay.
maybe yes.
But we really don't though.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
There's just, I know they send out, I'm not sure how the council, meeting,
So,
agenda items get, because I think before I joined this, because I went to one of the meetings and I had my email on file, I would get those emails.
so I want to be mindful during this time real quick too, but I just want to say historically, what I know about that is that any type of a newsletter that is produced by the city would require a significant amount of staff time to produce and to make sure that the information that is contained in it
So on budget?
is approved by the council and is official from the city. And so,
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
it's the work issue that has come up before with a lot of these
Right,
applications,
okay.
because our staff is so small. So I think that might be a consideration. There would have to be someone identified that would basically be able to run the newsletter, to decide what's gonna be in the issues, to get the council approval. It's a lot of work. So we can have the idea, we can present it to them, and the council can discuss, but that historically, that's what I know.
So, to that issue, I believe it's Yachats, but I'm not 100% sure. It's either Yachats or Walport, I wanna say. They have a city newsletter that is emailed, and it, basically a person from each committee or commission has someone who writes a little paragraph up. and submits that. So for instance, any of our news would come from one of us, and it would just get copied and pasted into this newsletter. So the only thing that, unless we came up with a volunteer who just loves doing that kind of stuff and wanted to do it. And I do know somebody who has said she would like to do that, but I'm not gonna name names. And it's not me. It would, basically, there are these, like for instance, my theater, I send out a weekly email update through Constant Contact. And it's got a template, you just plunk things in there. You can plunk pictures in, you can plunk text in, you can plunk whatever you want in there. And you've got your email database set up and you hit send, and that's all there is to it. And so there would be some initial setup, but it really wouldn't take that much time if each committee was responsible for, and if we had nothing to contribute that month, we wouldn't have to contribute. But if we had an event coming up or a couple of events coming up, then we would want it in there. And the same with any of the other commissions. So,
Lincoln City, for example, has a dedicated newsletter for the city, but Parks doesn't have their own, like you were saying, they don't have their own, but if there's anything to talk about, they have a section.
right.
But if go ahead.
That's something.
Yeah, but if you guys, if they don't have anything, period, it would be somebody on us would have to do it because they're not gonna allocate dollars.
Yeah,
Not even
I
10
think
minutes.
it seems like it should be like an easy thing to set up, but it does take a lot of dedicated work to try and coordinate everything together. So I can see how it would be hard to get the city to
I like
set
what
that
you
up
guys were talking
independently.
about with an email.
But I'll work towards, I could set up like a parks Facebook page
There
or
you go.
something, and then also maybe set up a parks email list from that, because you have to get people's emails somewhere.
And like you were saying, Ellie too, what about a hard copy too?
I think that probably would, I don't see that
How many people in
being
Depoe Bay?
worth the cost that would it put out.
Residents, local residents.
But see, the city already spends money signing the episodes, but maybe be a bundle.
Do you guys do that over here? Do you do hard copy bills to people?
Yes, and there has been discussion about your idea.
Yeah, 'cause they usually do that.
Including something in the
Yeah.
middle that,
Flyer.
right, I don't know where we're at with that right
You're
now,
talking
but
about
there were
the
other people who asked
Yeah.
about it, we do send out bills. to
Yeah.
water.
Cause I get insert sometimes in my stuff over there.
But ours is like a little postcard.
Right.
So it's like
Oh.
there's,
That's
you
right.
have to include it in an envelope, because you couldn't have like a staple
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
Well, the person
Okay.
that I have talked to who said that she would be interested in doing this, and she also told me that she's actually volunteered to the city to do that, but it's never gone anywhere. And I'd be happy to talk to her again some more about this, but she actually checked into the cost of doing a bulk mailing, and it was remarkably inexpensive.
Well, whoever that is would also have to get approval from the city, from council.
Yeah, you're always welcome to make recommendations.
Yeah.
So, okay,
We also have an empty seat now.
Right.
So
Why don't you try to lure her?
to this committee,
And then
she can't, she already serves on others.
oh,
I think she can't do that.
Yeah, I think it's true maximum, right?
Yeah. So,
well, let's wrap it up, guys.
okay, I got a couple other really quick things. One is, the farmer's market guy. I'm kind of surprised he's not here.
But I think we finally designated that as not being
Well,
part
it
of.
never was. And
Yeah.
personally, I thought it was kind of, overstep for him to consume so much of our time on something that he was asking us to
Right.
do. But regardless, I was a good sport and I went down to his
Hmm.
Oh, did it
event.
happen?
It did.
Was it a non-event?
It was a non-event. By the time the day rolled around, he had no food trucks, he had no crafts, he had no nothing. He had a backsplash thing set up for people. He wanted to do some sort of a podcast with people standing in front of that. I was the only,
Podcastee?
Creed was there when I got there. And Creed left shortly thereafter, and other than that, was his name Larry?
No, it's Jeff.
Jeff, that's right. Jeff and his wife were there. I visited with them for a while, and, you know, we talked about things. But by the time it happened, that he had nobody. Nobody had,
Which is what we
committed.
suggest, which was
Right.
what we had said, so.
And I don't know, so he also had a second date set for September, and I asked him if he was gonna cancel that, and he said probably not, so I don't know if he did or not, but literally I was the only person there other than them. And so, I don't know, I also don't think that his idea was a bad idea, and I think that it could possibly be something that we talk about in the future for this commission, but he's not the right person for that. So I just wanted to give a brief update on that.
Okay.
The other thing is, you brought up holidays, and so last year we had the Christmas, window
Right.
competition, which also turned out to kind of be a non-event. I think, what did we have, 5, 6, 7 businesses participated.
Right.
And then when it came the night of judging, I believe there were 3 of us who judged. But this is the one issue that I really have, is that the first prize winner, Courtney, who owns Unique and Naughty, has still not received her prize as of last night.
Kim said she sent the emails out to everybody.
They sent, this is what Kim and Courtney have both told me, is that they sent the prize, but they mailed it to her business address, and she does not get physical mail at that address. So it was returned. And so she was told to come into City Hall to pick up her prize, which she did, and she was told it wasn't ready. And I don't understand how it could not be ready, if it was ready to mail, how it could not be ready for her to pick up.
What was it anyway, do we know?
As I recall, it was a gift certificate for dinner for,
2 or something.
I don't remember what it was. But it was a prize and she hasn't gotten it. And so, I have visited with her from time to time about it. And apparently when she came in and was told it wasn't ready, she was told that they would get it to her, and that's, I think, the last that she's ever heard from them. So it's been an embarrassing long time now. And I think we need to do something about that. I think that prize needs to be hand-delivered.
Can you find out where? Thank you. And then what we should do is as a, where's she at?
Do you know where, Needing to Unwind is? Well, so, you know where the whale thing is on it's directly across the street in that blue building.
Oh, right, well, maybe if
Yeah.
there's a time, maybe after our next meeting or something like that, we can go there as a group, or we can go there, present it to her. What are your thoughts, guys?
All I care about is that she gets it.
Me
At
too.
this point, what she told me, we've become friendly, I really like this woman, and, what she told me is that she doesn't even really care, that it's a non-issue. I care more than she does, because it was something that we arranged, that we said we were going
No, I
to do,
know.
and we didn't follow through.
If that chatter gets around, why would I bother volunteering next year?
Right.
So, and that's something else you gotta consider too is, I mean, I know we're almost out of time, but for the different events, like last year, I know they had things they put up and lights and what have you, but, give me your thoughts on this, because I've gone the last 3 or 4 years to the tree and what have you. If the kids didn't show up from it, I think it's, what's Neighbor for Kids? We have 6 people in a puppy. Nobody really shows up. Is there something different, or what are we doing wrong that we can get more people?
Maybe we're doing it too late.
5 o'clock is.
Yeah, we started we can't really do much until it gets
Well,
darkish
it's
and the
dark,
lights
I'm
show
talking
and
about,
all that.
are we trying to get it out there too late?
That was my thing. I was thinking, why not do it the first weekend after Thanksgiving?
Well, again, if we had a newsletter.
Well, that's not gonna happen,
We
but you can use what you have, tools you have, like, your Facebook, like I do with my Cars and Coffee, I try to get it out there.
I think
That's
even
what I use.
if we did a flyer and we walk businesses and just chatter it up on your stuff, and you'd still get attention.
Yeah,
But I think it was too late last year, I really do.
well, yeah, that's
Well,
one of
I don't
the
mean to shoot your idea
Shoot me.
down, but, is it the businesses that we're targeting? They're already open, what we want
No,
is the
but
community
No,
to
no, I
show
want them to
up.
have flyers ahead of time, plenty of time, so people that see them can do this.
But again, how many people in Depoe Bay actually, who live here,
Oh, I don't know,
actually shop at the, I mean, I have enough Depoe Bay,
paraphernalia.
mugs, and, you know, I have my mother's Depoe Bay.
Okay, well then you guys, you know best, because I know, for example, you had them at the Horn, and people take it, as they're leaving, they get a flyer, that's a lot of people.
Right,
Now, maybe
yeah.
most of them are tourists, I don't know.
We get a good amount of.
yeah, I was gonna say the restaurants, definitely, you know, it's certainly not a bad idea to ask them to hang, you know, we could do an 11 by 17 and ask them if they could hang it in their window or something like that.
10 people would break the record.
Well, this last year, I thought there was a fairly decent turnout.
It wouldn't, I was there too, I was unimpressed.
There were city councilors there.
I know, you know, I'm
Some
not
of
gonna,
the people that I thought were the coolest were, there were tourists just walking down the street who stopped and said, "What's going on here?" And they loved it. They were so charmed by our little hometown thing.
yeah, and can you find out what it was last year with the date? Because I even tried to push it ahead of time, I think we all did, there was a conflict from somebody, but I think that right after Thanksgiving is the best time, as the closer you get to Christmas, the less people you're gonna get. I
Right.
think we were pretty close last year, but I could be
problem.
wrong.
I think we're a few weeks out.
I don't remember.
No, but I'm just saying, I think last year was like the 17th or something, it wasn't, I'd like to do literally that first, Friday of December or something. But what are your thoughts?
So you would like to, like.
I'm curious what it was last year, I just don't remember.
Okay.
I think,
I think we should take a look when Newport does theirs and when Lincoln City does theirs, because I know a lot of people with kids go to
Lincoln
those
City's,
bigger
yeah,
events. Like,
I'll find out when they're in Lincoln Cities and I'll let you know.
yeah, we,
Okay, yeah, it's already on your calendar.
Email all you guys.
Please.
with the date, because if you do want to suggest or recommend it earlier because of that, because maybe other people are going to bigger cities.
Mm-hmm.
we can make that recommendation.
Perfect, yeah, by next meeting, we can have the date, that'd be great, because next meeting is October already, and
Yeah.
yikes.
Yeah, I think, next meeting, and, you know, in addition to coming up with ideas
Yeah.
for other events, is come up with ways that we can maybe make that Christmas tree lighting more,
Yeah, efficient,
you know,
more
have
enjoyable,
more attendance.
attended,
I
yeah.
know the Christmas tree like I got here was on the 6th of December last year.
Oh, that was the first,
That could be,
Oh, it's, I got it in.
okay,
well, if that's the case, then let's make it a week after,
so, yeah,
That's-
because the 6th conflicted with Newport and Lincoln City, you're right, last year, they were all on the same day.
Oh, okay. So, we can see what,
and we used to, when my son and his family lived in Depoe Bay, we always went to Newport because they have the lighted boat parade. And that's, you know, that's a really cool thing. And, you know,
what if we did instead of, I mean, we can talk about this next week, but we could try and switch it up, instead of just being the one by the whale, maybe do something down by the harbor or something, some other type of thing to have it more, you know, something more exciting or something more than just turning the
Oh,
one
you know what
tree
would be
on.
really cool, and if you guys agree or not, but it's too bad it's so dark, I'd love to do something at the park.
Mhm.
But remember, it was wet last year too, I mean, it's kinda.
Yeah,
That's the thing too,
it's
weather
mostly-
is always dependent, I mean, it might be a downpour on the day we
Yeah,
decide to
that,
do
well,
it, and
like,
then it's.
last year was iffy, the year before it was pouring, hardcore.
yeah.
But I get, that's what they use it here too, it's easy accessible for the buses and whatever else, fire trucks.
Yeah, and drive-by traffic, they see something happening and they might call. Also,
Yeah.
most of the stuff that I saw posted on Facebook is, oh my God, what's going on, you know, on the water, on the seawall, there's fire trucks and
Well,
flashing lights.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I had thought about down by the harbor also. And one of the things that I thought of is when Fleet of Flowers takes place, they set up those microphones and stuff and they can kind of blast out
Carol music and whatever.
yeah, what if we had a Christmas caroling thing down there?
You know,
And we lit up that whole
No, no, it's-
harbor and
you mean
we
by-
all went
what
down
is that,
and.
dockside, what's it called?
Dockside.
Something like that, yeah, that's a great idea, and it's easy parking, right, they can get in there?
accessibility is always a concern for us,
Right,
for everyone,
so
Yeah.
that's it,
Yeah.
figure that stuff out, but right now, what I'd like to do is I have my meeting today, I'm gonna find out when they're doing their Christmas, let's not do it the same day,
Yeah,
Right,
because that's gonna get us more
and let's
people.
all think of ways we could what we can add to it, maybe
Mhm.
ways to make it more engaging, and we can bring that to the next meeting.
Right. And what I do want to say before we leave, I want this for the record, is that I thought this was one of the best meetings we've had. I appreciate everybody and the fact that we're open enough to talk about everything. And with that note, is there anything else we need to chat about? If not,
I
thank you.
feel good too,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
for hearing me out.
And we're good to go. 1:30, meeting is ended. Yeah, I thought that was awesome.